If you're wondering how the WrestleMania 42 card is going to shake out, well, stick around because I think this is it. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Leg Slapper. I am Casey Cameron, and welcome to yet another video. I believe WrestleMania 42 is about 150-ish days away, so we are officially getting into WrestleMania business. If WWE programming is to be believed, it is entirely possible they are actively planning out WrestleMania right now, so why not go ahead, take a massive swing, and predict what matches I think will occur at WrestleMania. The one rule that I made myself follow was that every single championship must be defended on my WrestleMania. Does that mean I think it necessarily will happen at WrestleMania? We've seen the track record of WWE. I don't know if every title will end up on WrestleMania 42, but if you've been here a little while, you know anything about me, you know I think every single title should be on WrestleMania. So without further ado, let's just get into my predictions for WrestleMania 42. So we're gonna kick things off on night one with the Men's United States Championship match. I believe Drew McIntyre will be the United States Champion walking into WrestleMania 42 because I think they're gonna pull him away from this Cody Rhodes storyline. I think they're gonna move him down toward the mid card. I think they're gonna have a surprise match against Ilya Dragunov, and I actually think Drew McIntyre will be the person to beat Ilya Dragunov for his United States Championship. That's exactly why it should be no surprise that I also predict Ilya Dragunov will be in this match trying to get his United States Championship back from a evil, conniving Drew McIntyre. But of course, it's not just them. We do have a couple other wrinkles to throw into the equation. How about Aleister Black with Zelina Vega? Give them a cool stage on WrestleMania to really introduce them properly to fans, make sure that they're viewed as a big deal, because I'm not gonna lie, I would actually have Aleister Black pick up the United States Championship here at WrestleMania 42 to solidify him as a big deal moving forward and being the guy that's going to be the top of SmackDown's mid-card. And just for the fun of it, I know he is technically out right now on, I believe, the inactive list for WWE, but I also threw in Jacob Fatu into this match. I figure if he is capable of coming back in time for WrestleMania 42, he'll probably be working a program with Drew. No, I don't think it's going to be revealed right now, at least, that Cody was behind whatever it was that happened to Jacob Fatu. I think Jacob Fatu is going to come in and he's going to want to fight Drew McIntyre. And if Drew McIntyre's got the title, Jacob's going to want to get that title again. And yes, like I said, I think Aleister Black wins that match after what will likely be a tremendous fatal four-way, but not the only one on this show. Up next, I'm predicting we are going to get a grudge match for the ages. I think by the time WrestleMania 42 rolls around, Obafemi will be eyeing the main roster. And what better way than kicking off another generation than having Obafemi come out onto Monday Night Raw and say, hey, AJ Styles, I know you're the man, I know you're the best, you're the top of TNA, you're the top of WWE, and well, guess what? I want to be the top of WWE, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to beat you down. So yeah, we have a basic grudge match. You can even let AJ Styles have the tag team championship still if you want here. I didn't, obviously, but I do think he'd be coming out with Dragon Lee to help him out, try and even the odds, because I think right here you would have a story of just how overwhelming of a force Obafemi is. AJ Styles, yeah, he is toward the end of his career, but he's still throwing everything he can. He's throwing some of the most impressive athletics he can at Obafemi, and Obafemi is just shrugging it off. It's nothing to him. And of course, Dragon Lee's there to try and help AJ Styles, and even he isn't doing anything to stop Obafemi. I think if you want to introduce Obafemi to the main roster, you put him on WrestleMania 42, you give him a big match against a big quality opponent, and there you go. And of course, at the end of the match, it would be Obafemi beating AJ Styles to stand tall, to move on, to be a big deal in WWE moving forward. Up next, I think we're going to have a 4-on-4 tornado tag match between the MFTs and the Wyatt Six for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And I know, a 4-on-4 for the championships, yeah, basically just have it be the winning faction is the head of the SmackDown Tag Team division. They are now the guy, hence the match being for the titles. I just think you could do a lot of fun if you let a match like this occur. If you have one faction defending, one faction attacking, it'll be great. These 4 different guys from both sides can probably come up with a lot of really creative spots, and I'd really be interested to see how a tornado tag match like this would go. Plus, a match like this was perfect for WrestleMania. We know WWE likes to have at least one kind of crazy chaotic match, and I think if you were going to have a chaotic match for night one, this is the chaotic match. When it comes to this tag match, honestly, I think I would put the MFTs over the Wyatt Six. I think the MFTs have really changed how they're presenting themselves. They're really changing their vibe, their feeling. I think they could be a really, really big group. I think they could position themselves as kind of world enders, similar to how the Wyatt Six were positioned when they first came into the company, and I think the MFTs may actually be able to be a stronger overall faction than the Wyatt Six, and I can't even believe I just said that, but I think it's true. Up next, let's discuss the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, and what could that even look like? We just had the surprise victory of Maxine over Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, so where do we go from here? Unfortunately, I don't think Maxine's gonna have this championship long. I really think what's gonna happen here is Nikki Bella is gonna challenge Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. She's gonna lose. She'll challenge Maxine for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. She'll win that, and then I think Liv Morgan is going to be returning at the Royal Rumble. Now, unfortunately, if you're like me, if you're like my girlfriend, if you're like many people around the world who love Liv Morgan and think she will win the Royal Rumble match, again, like I said, myself included, in this timeline, I'm saying she doesn't win the Women's Royal Rumble match. I have a feeling they might give that win to Bianca Belair. So in a world where Liv Morgan doesn't win the Royal Rumble, what does she do? Well, before she got injured, she was literally about to be in a feud with Nikki Bella. And what better to do than to just restart that feud with completely flipped characters? Now Nikki Bella's the heel, and the returning Liv Morgan, let her be a babyface. She's gonna get the babyface reaction, so let her do that. Put Liv up against Nikki, have Liv wrestle Nikki to a great WrestleMania match, and I would put Liv Morgan over to become the new Women's Intercontinental Champ. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I have a feeling this match is going to be something of the past versus the present, so I have a feeling we're going to be doing a Lumberjill match here. One that has kind of, you know, Nikki Bella and the heels and her allies and women from her era, or at least closer to her era, on one side, and the more modern women, the baby faces that are on Liv Morgan's side, on the other. And of course, then you can have all the classic shenanigans that occurs in a Lumberjill or Lumberjack match. Up next, let's talk about one of the Royal Rumble winner matches, because unfortunately, if you're someone that thinks that Royal Rumble winners should main event WrestleMania, I hate to break it to you, in my thinking here, for who I think is going to win the Royal Rumbles in 2026, whoever's going to win the next Royal Rumble, unfortunately, I don't think either of them will main event WrestleMania. I actually think the winner of the men's Royal Rumble match will be Sami Zayn, and I think by the time we get to WrestleMania, Gunther will be the undisputed WWE champion. Give it just a normal singles match, let these two guys have a rematch of their WrestleMania 40 Classic. I want to see what happens. I want to see. Now we've amped it up. We're not at the Intercontinental level anymore. We're at the World Champion level, and this is Sami Zayn's big potential moment. Sami Zayn won the Royal Rumble. He's got the world behind him. The underdog from the underground is coming to topple Gunther, and he doesn't do it. No. Despite winning the Royal Rumble, Gunther has become unstoppable at this point. I have a feeling Gunther's going to be winning the John Cena tournament. I have a feeling Gunther isn't going to be taking a loss for a very, very long time. I'm probably going to be eating my words in like 2 weeks when Gunther doesn't end up winning the tournament, but that's what I'm going with. So yeah, Gunther ends up retaining the undisputed WWE Championship against Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 42, Night 1. And we're still not even at the main event, and believe it or not, up next, I would put on Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. And no, it is not Cody Rhodes that'll be turning heel here. It'll be Randy Orton that has turned heel on Cody Rhodes, costing Cody his championship to Gunther, so that Gunther can get a win back on Cody, get the championship from Cody, and we can immediately get Cody away from Gunther, out of Gunther's vicinity altogether, and into that much wanted feud with Randy Orton, a feud that most people feel is probably not gonna require the WWE Championship, which is why I have this the way that I do. I think this will be a grudge match that basically could headline the show, make it a no holds barred match so you can have a little bit of craziness involved. But yeah, I think this one is a pretty safe bet for WrestleMania 42, if not the next SummerSlam. But what is the main event of Night 1? And actually, I think the women should main event Night 1. I think it should be a surprise fatal 4-way women's TLC match for the Women's World Championship. And I think it should be between Asuka walking in as the champion up against Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. Are you telling me that that fatal 4-way would not be one of the best matches of the year? And think of the story we can tell here. If Asuka manages to weasel the title away from, say, Stephanie Vaquer, well, now we have mega heel Asuka at the top of the card. And let's say we're still continuing that feud, which we seemingly still are into War Games, right? Of Asuka and Kairi and Rhea and Io. Well, what happens when Kairi finally turns on Asuka? What happens when the friendship, the camaraderie between Io and Rhea comes to the point where it's time to get the Women's World Heavyweight Championship? They've already been in that spot before, and things are amped up again. Neither of them have been champ for a while. I think a fatal four-way of this caliber with the right story, with the right amount of heat, not only could main event WrestleMania 42 Night 1, but should main event WrestleMania 42 Night 1. And who should close out the show with the big victory? Well, I don't necessarily think this is what should happen, but I think it's probably what would happen. I think Rhea Ripley walks away from the main event of WrestleMania 42 Night 1 as your new Women's World Champion. Let's quickly get into Night 2. I think Night 2 opens up with our favorite bloodline. That's right, on the way to WrestleMania 42 Night 2, the opener, like, let's be honest here. Is Roman going to close a WrestleMania this year? I don't really think so. I'll be completely honest, I don't think so. But what I do see happening is if Roman's not going to close the show, he's probably going to open the show. And what better way to open the show than with Roman versus Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso? I know, a bit of an odd pick here, but think about it. We've got Roman, who is Roman, right? We have to give him something to do now that Seth is gone. Well, why don't we continue this Jey Uso story? Have Jey starting to become a heel version of Roman, the heel version of Roman that was the champion, and start having them butt their heads. Then throw Jimmy into the mix. Jimmy is just the brother that wants to see his family coming together again. Let all three of them have a bloodline rules match or whatever bloodline match that you want to have, a tribal chief match, whatever you want. But let the stipulation be the losers of the match must acknowledge the winner of the match. And if you ask me, I think Jimmy Uso should win that match. I know, crazy. Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't like that, but you know what? I think Jimmy not only deserves it, I think you could argue at this point, Jimmy deserves it more than Jey. And think about it. We already have, like, Roman is a guy, he's here. He has started losing again, so Roman is not infallible. I think if you wanted to continue the story even further to a Roman Jey one-on-one match, again, this is how you do it. But I think this provides an awesome moment for Jimmy Uso, a surprise moment that no one would see, and a well-deserved moment for someone like Jimmy Uso. Up next, there's got to be a street fight on WrestleMania. I feel like there's always some kind of street fight on basically any big show that they have. So let's do a street fight here. Let's do the Lucha Bros, Penta, and Rey Fenix as the champions with Rey Mysterio walking in to defend against Bronson Reed and Austin Theory with Logan Paul by their side. And this match would be for the Raw World Tag Team Championships. Putting aside how excellent the Lucha Bros are, let's just think about how good it would be for Austin Theory to join the Vision and have Bronson Reed and Austin Theory be the tag group for the Vision. And then if Logan Paul is still kicking around, obviously we need to do something with Logan Paul, but why not keep him included in the Vision? But leave him on the outside a bit still. Have it be like, well, he's not really there. I feel like that would provide even more heat for a guy like Logan Paul, who likes to say, oh, I'm part of them. And everybody's like, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, you're part of us. Yeah. Just let this one be a fun one. It's in Las Vegas again. So let it be, you know, the Sin City street fight once again. Let it be another tornado tag match. And I would basically just have the Lucha Bros come out, put on an excellent match, and walk out the champions still. If you want to continue the stories even more, have it be because of Logan Paul. From one tag match to another, I think we will see Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez win the women's tag team championships and walk into WrestleMania with them in order to face AJ Lee and Stephanie Vaquer. Yes, believe it or not, I'm removing Stephanie Vaquer from the World Championship scene just for a little while because I have a feeling Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez will at least have a heavy hand to play in her eventual title loss. And if one of them doesn't end up with said title, I think they're probably going to be challenging for the tag team championships. And if Stephanie's on a 1v2, she needs an ally here. And with AJ and Becky seemingly probably going to be done before WrestleMania, why don't we have AJ Lee, the returning incredible AJ Lee, with the new incredible Stephanie Vaquer, and you have them work together in a tag match. Of course, I would end up putting Roxanne and Raquel over, but hey, it would still be a really, really fun match. After that, we'll keep the women's matches going. We'll have our Women's United States Championship match. Unfortunately, no, I don't think Chelsea Green is going to hold that championship all the way till WrestleMania. I have a feeling I've seen a lot of other people start to mention this match coming and likely happening at WrestleMania. I can see it being Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. I would just have it be a normal singles match. I would actually have Charlotte Flair be the one to win the United States Championship, and then I would actually have Alexa Bliss come in and win the United States Championship from Charlotte at WrestleMania 42. 42. I mean, think about it. Think of how good that match is going to be. We've got the legend in Charlotte. We've got the legend in Alexa. Having both of them go toe-to-toe for this mid-card title at WrestleMania really, really reverses the fortune of this title that really right now doesn't mean much. It means virtually nothing, let's be honest. And that's whether it's on Julia or Zelina Vega or Chelsea Green. Unfortunately, right now, the Women's United States Championship means zilch, nothing. It is worthless. But putting it on two main eventers and having them feud over it at WrestleMania is going to do the exact same thing for the Women's United States Championship that Becky Lynch just did for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Speaking of Intercontinental Championships, we need a match for either John Cena or Dom. John Cena, our current Intercontinental Champion, who I have a feeling is going to be dropping the Intercontinental Championship back to Dom at Survivor Series. I see Dom walking into WrestleMania 42, still your Intercontinental Champion, but I predict that we are going to have a little bit of the implosion of Judgment Day leading up to this. I think Dom's match for WrestleMania 42 is set to be against Finn Balor. I won't be surprised if it is in a steel cage match so that there can be no running away, no shiftiness, no lying, no cheating, no stealing, right? We want to be able to have heel Finn stack the deck as much as possible against babyface cheater Dom, so that when Dom eventually manages to win, oh wait, except Dom shouldn't win at WrestleMania. Give the Intercontinental Championship to Finn Balor, let Dom have the babyface chase for the championship. I think if you want to take the title off Dom to a regular person on the roster, not named John Cena, this is where you do it. You do it, you let Finn take it, you let Finn become a dominant figure in WWE again, and then you can let Dom get his championship back. So yeah, Finn Balor, victor, another Intercontinental Championship under his belt, and winner of Steel Cage match at WrestleMania 42. Up next, we have our other Royal Rumble winner match. Like I said, I think Bianca Belair is going to be the Women's Royal Rumble winner, so we will have Bianca Belair going one-on-one with the champion Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. Again, normal singles match. Do I care much about this match? No, not really. I personally don't love Jade Cargill. Like, there's something about it that there's something about her that just doesn't work for me. I think she has like an incredible look. You look at her, you're like, wow, that girl's gonna beat somebody up. The problem is when I see her in the ring, I'm just not thrilled by what she does. I'm not interested in her. I don't really like her as a storyteller. That's just my personal opinion, right? But you know who I do love? Bianca Belair. And who do I think would win a match like this at WrestleMania? A returning Bianca Belair. So if she was to return, babyface run, Royal Rumble, I do have a feeling Bianca Belair will be taking the title from Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 42. And now the much waited for World Heavyweight Championship match. What will it be? Who will be the champ walking in? Who will be defending? Who knows? It will be CM Punk. I have a feeling the way that the PLEs are booked right now, I think it specifically is just to protect CM Punk, so he doesn't really need to defend the championship on the way to WrestleMania as much as he probably should. Now here's the wrinkle, is I think most people are predicting this match will just be CM Punk versus Braun Breaker, and I think WWE is going to be swerving us just a little bit, because what's better than just CM Punk versus Braun Breaker? Because to be honest, right now, that's not a very appetizing match. But you know what is an appetizing match? Adding in a couple extra little people here. I think we should have CM Punk go up against Braun Breaker as well as Brock Lesnar, LA Knight. Now I know that sounds crazy. How does that make sense? Well, I shouldn't need to explain CM Punk versus Braun Breaker. That it seems like the obvious thing that we're going to be getting at WrestleMania. I think you understand that we're going there. I think you can understand the world that I see where we get there, right? Even if that's not what happens. But how does LA Knight get involved? How does Brock Lesnar get involved? Well, let's be honest. Brock Lesnar shouldn't be part of the Vision. He doesn't need to be part of the Vision. The Vision really should be a group of new guys. That's the whole point. Seth being the figurehead worked because Seth was the veteran, being like, these are the future. These are the new guys. I'm just going to lock this down till they're ready. Brock Lesnar doesn't serve that role. He doesn't fit that role. He's not the kind of guy to be in that place. So Brock Lesnar realistically should start going butting heads with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker should be like, I'm the new hotness. I'm the guy. I am going to be the one. And Brock Lesnar should be like, well, I'm here and I like winning championships. So why would I let that happen? Brock Lesnar doesn't care that Braun Breaker's a Paul Heyman guy. Brock Lesnar does whatever Brock Lesnar wants. So why wouldn't Brock Lesnar be included in this match? At the same time, to avoid the inevitable, oh God, Brock Lesnar's in another WrestleMania main event match, why don't we throw in LA Knight here? No, I don't think there's a single world where you look at this Fatal 4-Way and you go, yeah, LA Knight's gonna win that. but you know what it does is it lets LA Knight appear like a big deal. Again, I know it's a pipe dream. LA Knight, what's going on with him right now? But let's be honest, seeing LA Knight in a match like that would tell everybody he is a guy moving forward and he is going to be a big deal. And I think once we're free of WrestleMania season, LA Knight will have the best chance possible to become a world champion. It's all just going to depend on how WWE uses him. And yes, I will also acknowledge that I feel like my longest shot here in my prediction is that there's going to be a fatal 4-way for the World Championship main eventing WrestleMania. But what do I know? Let me know what you think. What matches do you think is going to happen at WrestleMania 42? I want to hear from you. We're like 150 days out. Who knows? This is probably all incredibly wrong. If I even get a single one of these predictions right, I will be shocked, and I don't even know what I'll do. I have no idea. But you know what? Tell me what you think of these picks. Tell me who you'd pick. Who would you book for who are your dream matches? What do you want to see at WrestleMania 42? Tell me in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear from you. I've been Casey Cameron, and I will see you in the next one.